those who hear the words of this prophecy. And I suppose one might suggest rather strongly that with that part of the phrase, blessed is he who hears, is that we sit down and read it aloud so we can hear it with our ears. And it really isn't a bad idea, actually. When I first started memorizing way back in first grade, we didn't have kindergarten in those days, we were smarter. My dad then, and routinely and continually throughout my years, reminded me and instructed me and encouraged me, when memorizing, read it aloud. So that you're not only seeing the words, but you are audibly hearing them too. It makes a difference. It helps us retain it, and it really does work. What this doesn't say is leave the reading to someone else and you be a passive person. And that certainly is true of all of Scripture, that we need to read it for ourselves. And even as pastors, we get so caught up in we read Scripture and we translate it, but it's so often looking outward that we have to be reminded, hey, it's for us too, to actually read it. And I've heard people say, I'm going to read the Bible in a year. Well, it's a good idea. Nothing wrong with that and worthwhile. But what I'd like to ask them when the year is over, what did you hear? What did you hear? Did you get anything out of it? Or was your intent simply to be able to say, well, I read the whole Bible in a year? I suppose some of the responses might be, well, I learned that Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are pretty dry books, along with some others, that I really didn't understand too well. So the point is, if you get nothing out of it and have not learned anything, did you really hear it? Did you really read it? And if not, then how can you be happy? It's the difference between taking the interstate and taking the back roads. Yeah, you can take the interstate, it gets you there faster. But how much of the countryside did you really see as you sped by at 70, 75, 80 miles an hour? Goes by pretty fast. When you take the back roads, you have to slow down for the tractors on the road and everybody else that isn't moving fast, and you got to slow down for the towns, but you see more. And when we read Scripture, slow down, take the back roads. So what if you don't read the Bible in a year? Make it 3 years. And then we might get some joy out of it.